Hi guys, how's it going?
Hi everybody.
Bosco. Hi everybody. I just love Bosco.
That must be our
Our go-to thing.
no, when we figure out how to do cut and paste and all that,
We could have Bosco.
Yeah.
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 And the Avengers at
What's
the
called
end.
like the theme, tune theme? No,
Theme tune, jingle, whatever.
Anyway.
I was writing about you in my book last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Ciara, why do you always do these things? So anyways, guys, today we are on and we are going to talk about
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. You were supposed
Tell
to
me
finish
who
that.
I want to be. Tell me who I want to be.
Find out what it means to be. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Take down TCB.
Okay, so we're going to talk about respect.
Yes.
So respect in what form? Respect in regards of... I feel like we're a bit far away.
Respect in regards to respecting ourselves, respect in regards to how to respect other people and
How other people treat us.
and ways that I suppose we can deal with situations in a more respectful manner. You know, that you don't have to attack somebody to get your point across, that you can actually say things in a respectful, kind way and you can still get your point across. I suppose a lot of it is to do with boundaries as well. They kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
This is so strange because we normally do lives and so this one isn't live.
We're going to have 5 not live. Okay? 5 not live.
Okay. Today I'm kind of like in a strange feeling, a strange humour because I feel like I'm not like open and how words are just going to like fall out of my mouth.
Oh,
At
don't
the
worry.
moment, at the moment.
Yeah, give us 30 seconds and all the
Give
words.
us our second
video.
And we don't have our coffee or tea, but anyways, that's fine. I never turned off my volume on my phone, but
Don't
anyways.
panic, it's all right.
Okay, so we're going to do what we've never done before. We're going to try and make this 30 minutes long.
No, we're going to make this 20 minutes long. Because we're not live. So like, if we waffle the heads of each other for 30 minutes,
we bore everybody.
well,
And
yeah,
nobody
we'll
will
probably
respond
go
to
off
us.
on tangents and everything. I mean, we do that anyway.
Whatever. we never do anything like that.
Okay,
Who
so
likes my
respect.
necklace? It's from Carrick
I do.
Dunn.
I think it's gorgeous.
Just to let you know, I might tie Carrick Dunn on that one there.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I know.
You never know, they might send you some merch. Wouldn't that be cool?
So anybody who likes us, just send a comment and we'll see what Carrick Dunn can do for us.
Yeah, if anyone wants to start sponsoring us as well, you know, if you're sharing our videos, I think it'd be really cool if we got a sponsor. And again, do you remember I was telling you about Loose Lips and I was telling you about that Louisa Zeissman? Do you remember a few weeks ago? And I was telling you about the podcast. You probably don't. It's okay. It doesn't
No,
matter.
I do, but I remember you were saying that we could be good like those and that we could do that kind of thing. And I was thinking,
Yeah, well, they just
I
got a
don't know who-
sponsor.
oh,
Yeah, they just got a massive sponsor. And she's so funny that she came on her Instagram stories the other day and she was like, this company have become our sponsor. And she was wearing a hoodie that they had sent her. And she was like, or no, she had bought a hoodie from this company. And straight to camera, she was like, but I shouldn't have bought it because they're my sponsor now. So they really should be sending me in. And I was like, yes, go girl. I like it. Talk about respect.
talk about like your sponsor saying, well, not doing that anymore.
Yeah, no, she's really big time. The sponsor
Oh my
won't drop
God.
her.
Okay, so respect. So what is respect to you guys and how do you feel respected? How do you feel respected with your co-workers? How do you feel respected with your family? How do you respect yourself?
With your friends.
With your friends. Excuse the jumping up above. We have childers in the house.
Elephants. Small elephants.
So give us an example, Ciara, of what's the most important thing. What's the most thing that stands out for you in regards to respect? Do you have a particular situation of where you felt that you could have been respected more or that you could have respected yourself more?
I was just thinking there and trying to decide kind of what.
You were just thinking, yeah.
I was just thinking, oh, I've been around this one too often. Her 2 favourite sayings. I was just thinking, and you're so funny. Those are her 2 favourite sayings. They'll be on her tombstone at some point, way down the line.
And we're moving on to like, we're moving on to like the Mrs. Brown's boy laugh.
You can't put that in a tombstone.
Why not? Yeah, they just can press the battery and they can recharge the batteries.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
You'll be the one scaring everyone on Halloween.
Scaring them a lot. Okay, sorry, go on.
So thinking about a given example. So I find respect really important, but I believe you have to give it regardless. So I give respect to everybody across the board regardless. And then if you do something that means I take my respect away, then that's different. But because of the person I am and the things that I like to do, I give respect. But the way I like to get respect is, it's simple things. It's eye contact and loyalty and trust. Those three things show me that there's a lot of respect in a situation. So when somebody is loyal and says the same things to my face as they say behind my back, that's real respect. That's high levels of respect. Does that mean like
good and bad?
Well, yeah, if you're going to be consistent. You know, consistency is key, you know.
Yeah.
So if you can sit in my company and you can tell me I'm, you know, great and whatever, and then behind my back you're going to say the same things, then that is a really high level of respect for me. It's the same with being told the truth, somebody being honest with me. I prefer you to sit down and say, okay, Ciara, I really don't think you should go out the door in that outfit because it just doesn't suit you and it does nothing for you. So what about trying this? And I would say that's real respect, because you don't want me to be going outside looking anything but my best for me, if that's something that's important to me.
But that's very difficult, Ciara, because I've been up against that in the past with different friends who are different shapes and sizes and that, you know. And when I'm trying to tell them nicely that something doesn't suit them, they take offense and they're like, oh, that's because you're so skinny, everything suits you, da 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 da, and makes it all about me. But actually, no, I'm trying to like genuinely say, like, you've got this that's lovely, or you've got lovely shaped boobs or lovely shaped ass or whatever, but this top just, you know, pulls in the wrong areas and that.
Yeah.
And but that can go down like a lead balloon, and you can say, oh yeah, that's their stuff. But it doesn't really matter if that's their stuff. Because you can say, well, that's your stuff. Well, you can, I suppose, but it's tricky. And it's tricky, I think, no matter what age you are, unless you've done the work, which, you know, we often talk about this. We've done a lot of work on ourselves through counselling, through like, you know, wanting to become a better person in ourselves. And I think unless you've done the work, people can get very offended if you tell them the truth.
That can be self-respect as well. Obviously, doing the work is a self-respect thing. It's giving yourself respect and acknowledging what you need to go through. And I totally hear you. Some people do not like it. Some people think that it's awful to actually give your honest opinion, particularly on somebody's appearance, but it's different, you see, when you're giving somebody your opinion on their appearance and it's not coming from a bad place, it's coming from a place of love, then for me, that's huge amounts of respect, because I know that you have my best interests at heart. And so I'll take it on the chin, but that's me.
That's like, you. I've landed myself in hot water a few times with coming from that place of love, and they don't hear it that way, and they don't see it that way.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I have to maybe a little bit disagree when it comes to that, because sometimes I think you're better off to say nothing if they're happy in their own skin and what they're wearing, or you know. You can, like, if you can say, well, do you feel comfortable in that tonight? Like, and do you think that you look well? That's great.
You see, I wouldn't say that to people. I'm saying that for me, that's how I feel respect. But I know people well enough, regardless of how short of a time I've known them or the long time I've known them. I know people well enough innately to know what to say to them and what not to say. And 90% of the population won't thank you for turning around and saying, I think you'd look nicer in something else. So I would never say that, but for me, that makes
except if it's your sister.
Yeah, totally. That's a whole other
we all do that. But our own family is different. Yeah.
What about you? How do you like to be respected?
It's a very interesting question, actually. So
we sound like news reporters today.
Yeah, I think it's because when we're not live,
I know it's really hard, guys. It's so hard to be
natural.
Yeah.
Behind the camera, like,
and not be
fluidity.
Posed. Yeah. So like I'm looking at the camera now, like I'm doing a live. So I don't want to look at the camera, and I don't want to be saying my words like this, like a robot. So,
but at the same time, we want, like, I find that when we're having these chats, it's awfully hard because when I'm talking to somebody, I like to like look in their eyes and give them the respect. But then if we're doing this all the time, then you guys be like, hello,
we're out
can
here.
Can anybody see me?
Yeah.
So we have to every now and again turn around because it's respectful to you guys. So it's just a different
setup. Respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Taxi.
Taxi. Yeah, she loves it.
I feel like my breath isn't smelly today.
Are you saying that because my breath is smelly?
No, we must do something on that maybe sometime. I'm not saying
I always think straight away I'm like, and this happens all the time. Do you ever find this? If somebody scratches their nose, I think we said this one day. Yeah, and you do it too automatically because you think that that's a signal that something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But every time you mention smelly breath, I'm like, oh, I wonder if she thinks my breath
God,
is
I
smelly.
must say that often.
You do?
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have a phobia around breaths.
Maybe. But anyway, so
Yeah, how do you like to be respected?
I do like the eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's like, yeah, well, that's very sexual. That can be
How is
intimidating.
that sexual?
Like your eyebrows are up and you're like literally it's like nearly undressing me.
That's not how it feels to me. I feel
No,
like I'm boring my eyes through your body. Why does it feel sexual to you?
But like when you, I've said this before, when you do eye contact, like I can't tell you how many different face expressions you can do so minutely that are so different. Like with your eyes, like you can do like, I don't know, 50 different emotions with just your eyes. And
50 Shades of Kira.
50 Shades of Kira. There you go.
Oh my God, there should be a movie.
What you call it? Sorry guys, itchy underarm.
You.
Yes, I do like eye contact, but sometimes I do find it intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, you know, you want to be heard and you want to be seen and you want to be listened to. I suppose heard and listened to, it's the same thing. But then when you get in an intense amount of that, oh God, I'm just like, I can't talk and I get all nervous and, you know, so yes, I like the eye contact, but don't keep staring at me like this all the time because then I'm like, oh my God, she's really listening and now it has to be really important what I'm saying.
But that's the whole point, is it not? Like, I feel like I'm rude, so when I talk to somebody, I have to look at them. And I remember going to a course, a Start Your Own Business course years ago, and I walked into the course and this guy is like, he makes people seasick. He walks up and down and up and down and up and down. He doesn't stop for the whole 3 hours.
Oh, isn't there like a weatherman who's always doing that? He's going back and over and he's pulling his sleeves and back and
Jesus,
over.
Mary Joseph. I had to come out twice. Josh was sitting out in the lobby of the hotel I was in, and I actually went and I threw up because I got seasick.
Oh.
But I couldn't not look at him because I felt like if I didn't look him in the eye as he was walking back and over, that I was being rude. So I actually had to not do the course. Luckily, I had done one beforehand before I set my business up. But if I didn't look at you when you were talking, I'd feel like I was being really disrespectful.
Yeah, I get that, but it's to like kind of look away sometimes. Just break it all the time. I'm so sorry. Those boys are driving me crazy right now with all that
I
banging.
love you. I can't not look at you. You're just so much to me. You mean the world to me. I love you so much.
Oh, okay.
See, I don't
Yes,
mind
there's
the
personal
boys at
space
all.
too. Yeah, I know. Like when I speak to a certain family member of mine, I nearly have to put that family member facing the corner and I facing outwardly because he's
Really?
always like, oh yeah, how are you doing? And 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 the next thing, fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry are over talking to us, and I'm like, are you listening to me right now? Like that
Okay.
really gets on my goat. Like that just drives me crazy. So when, like, say if I'm at the schoolyard and I see other parents doing this and like they're like, I'd walk past them like, oh, how are you ladies? Or I might catch somebody's eye contact and wave at them. But if they're like immersed in conversation with me, I just think it's really good how they're actually really listening to me in that moment. And so I find it awful hard. I think it's when like having a business and growing up in business, that when you're working in a shop and you have to like mind the floor, if you like, then I can be talking to a staff member, whatever, but my peripheral vision is kind of searching the room to make sure everything's going on okay, everybody's getting looked after, everything's just been done right. And so I probably do get a bit distracted, but I am trying to listen. And I suppose you can't really do two things at once.
No.
So I suppose I have grown up with that, and so I have to be mindful that I kind of pull it in and I'm looking at you. Another thing of respect is how somebody speaks about me and how somebody speaks to me. And I think it could be something that we might talk about it again sometime, but I'm not sure we get a whole long video out of it, is somebody's like their tone of voice. So tonality is, I think, is so important because it can be very, and also expression, it can be very derogatory. It can be like, oh yeah, okay, you know, so it's funny, you know, because face expressions, body language, and we've always talked about this, how 80% of conversation is non-verbal, and body language and the tone of your voice and face expressions are huge when it comes to respect.
And it's
if
the
you're
difference.
talking to me and I'm kind of like this, or if I'm looking at a book, or
worse,
on the
a
phone and they're like this, or constantly taking, sorry, do you mind if I take this? I'm like, are you actually kidding me right now? Like, could you not just give me like a few minutes that you just don't answer the phone, just don't even look at it, unless it's fucking really, excuse my language, really, really important. Just don't do that.
I did a video about this morning, and actually it is to do with Thelma. So I did a video about when you go to people's houses and they've asked you over for a cup of tea, And so when you come over to their house for a cup of tea, and I've done this video specifically about giving people time and your presence, that do you sit down with them to have the cup of tea, or do you do work in your house? And I'd be very mindful.
I know exactly what I do.
I'd be very mindful of going, right, when somebody comes to the house, we're going to sit down, we're going to have the coffee. You should see the state of my house at the minute. It is, what's my house like? It's bonkers, right? It's bonkers. And I don't give a damn, because to me it's not important. I've had Paula over earlier on, and we sat down for 2.5 hours to have coffee, and I couldn't imagine not sitting down and focusing. And it's a bit like that when I'm like, we just need to soak each other up and have the conversations and enjoy ourselves. Thelma's very different because she's so busy. So when I go to Thelma's house, she's busy doing stuff in the house. That's just how you are. That's just you doing stuff.
Well, yes and no. Yes, but I don't know what it is. I just love people to be around me when I'm doing the things I don't like to do.
I know, yeah, and we had that conversation.
Yeah, so when somebody comes to my house, I'm like, oh yes, I'm really going to get into that cleaning or do whatever it is. But I know we're just looking at the different topics here this evening to see what we're going to talk about, and one of them is like, judgment of your house. And so I have such immense judgment of my house because I suppose it's the way I grew up a little bit. And so I kind of think, like, when somebody comes to my house, if it's a bit of a mess, but when they come in and I'm starting to clean and do stuff and all this kind of crack, then they know that it's like it's a transition period, and that it wasn't maybe like this earlier on, or it wasn't like this yesterday, and like later on it's going to be fine. But like then when they come like the next day or a few days later, look, at the end of the day, I just gotta like face reality, and my kitchen table is always going to be covered with clothes.
Yeah,
that drives me crazy. So it's my own battle I have in myself. And I don't know what it is. I think that I feel so guilty being in my own house, not doing stuff when someone comes. And I think that comes from my past, that if we were seen to be sitting down, that we're kind of, not necessarily given off to, but kind of, made sure that we know that there are other things for doing than just sitting down. Yeah. So I think that it's when someone comes in, then it's like, oh, I got to be seen to be busy and everything else, you know. And like I could have worked my ass off or cleaned the whole house from top to bottom that day. And look, I'm going to be honest, I do have a cleaner who comes once a week, so I'd really go to town with her, with helping her. Even though my husband says, oh, that cleaner's so great, but he doesn't realise I do actually like really help her out. And then I try and keep him top of it then during the week. But yeah, I think it's that here actually, now that you said it, is that when somebody comes into my house, I have this thing of, I need to show that I've been busy. And then the guilt then about being like, I was going to say single mom. I am this way. My husband's away.
But it's just me.
I know, but it's just so ingrained in me. And then, whereas if I come to your house, so I'm happy to go to other people's house because I just sit and I'll chat or whatever. And if you're to go around clean and do whatever, that's fine because I know how I am.
Yeah.
But no, I can totally get that, And friends of mine said, will you just sit down and talk to me for a minute? But I am totally engrossed in what they're saying, and I'll stop and I listen for the important parts, and then I'm just do. But yeah, it must be annoying. To have that. It doesn't bother me.
No, it's not that it's annoying. You're not annoying, and I know that you're listening. But it's lovely to actually just go, okay, you know something? All this shit's going to be here when your wand leaves. It's all going to be in the same place. I get what you're saying, because I actually love when you're here and I get to do something. Not the same as cleaning, but like, when I went to your house and we did the paperwork, or you came down here and
just
we're doing
stuff that you just hate doing.
Yeah, and the stuff that you put on the long finger, that's easy and really simple, but it's a pain in the bum.
Yeah,
so that's lovely to have somebody with you. But I really appreciate it. I always love that time, that coffee, because so much gets done over coffee. Like, women are amazing when we sit down and we have coffee and suddenly the whole world is fine.
And that's like about these chats.
Totally.
Like we could, like, honestly, I do feel a bit sad when the chats are over. When I see coming up when like it's time to finish, I'm like, okay, what else can I talk about now? Like, what else can I jam in here now? Like,
Last week was a prime example.
Oh my God.
Oh like, man. And that picture that you sent me of your face, honest to God, your face and my face, I was like,
yeah, it was hilarious.
Okay.
So
what other ways do you like to be respected? I like when somebody doesn't take their phone up.
Yes, I do like that. How somebody speaks about me in my presence as well. So if someone says like, oh, this is your wife or whatever, or if I hear them saying something about me and they don't think I'm listening, I like it to be nice.
Of course.
You can like, okay, if they're being sarcastic or they're messing in your presence, okay, that could be okay. But actually there's a borderline there too, where they're taking the piss and then they say, oh, but I was just messing, or it's just a joke. But actually underneath it all there's a subliminal message where it's like a
little bit of truth.
Yeah, a little bit of truth, How else do I like respect? It's funny because different ages. So my kids, I like them just to kind of eye contact and listen to me. That's one. And to respect, say, what my rules around the house, our family rules around the house and stuff like that. But it's tricky because they're quite young. But even with my husband, you know, if he wants me to listen to his rules around the house, then I expect him to listen to mine. And when I don't, then I really do feel disrespected.
Yeah.
And when I say that to him, he's kind of like this. And that really...
I know, it's so annoying.
Oh my gosh.
It's so annoying.
Oh, another thing. Love my husband, right? But he'll ask me a question, but he could talk to me looking the opposite way. Or looking into the fridge while I'm over there. And I'm like, can you not like look at me and talk to me, you know, when you're talking to me? Or he'll ask me a question and then he start walking out the room. And he'd be talking to me as he's walking out the room. And I'm like, for God's sake, don't ask me questions, start walking out the room. And he goes, oh, the kids need something or the doorbell rang. I don't care what happened.
Yeah.
I asked you a question. If you're going to answer me, then answer me while you're looking at me or say, hold on a second. Yeah. There's only so many of those holds on a second.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
And then it all becomes a big...
So that's in regards to that. And I suppose that would be the same for them in a restaurant and that. If I'm dealing with the waitress, I would like her to lift her head up sometimes and look at me and talk to me and maybe acknowledge the kids or whatever. Don't be had your head stuck in the book. Yeah, that's grand, thanks. And then walk, off she goes, you know.
A bit of eye contact never goes astray.
Yeah.
I like respect around, and it's funny because obviously this is a very new thing because, you know, we've only had phones for how many years. But when somebody rings off a private number, honest to God, if you're ringing me off a private number, I'm going to give you your private time and I'm not answering. It's that simple. If you send a text message before you make a phone call, I think that's lovely. And I know maybe it's not, no, that's horse manure. It is always possible. If you're going to ring somebody who you don't know and you have a phone number and you've never spoken to that person before, then sending a quick message and saying, hi, it's X, Y, and Z, and I just want to give you a quick call. Are you free? Super. At that point, I can send you a text message and say I'm super busy, or can we have a call tomorrow? We can schedule it in because I'm really busy. And because I'm really busy and my time is precious to me, and I consider everybody else's time is really precious to them, I would appreciate that little text message. That to me shows huge amounts of respect. Punctuality. Now, this is a funny one, right? This is a funny one because there's two people in my life who aren't punctual, right? You and Anthony, right?
Okay.
That's totally fine. I have actually no problem in the world with you being as late as you want or with Anthony.
Yeah.
But I won't take it from anyone else. I have no problem.
It's so funny. I was talking to a girl yesterday, and she said to me, I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but you could get away with doing absolutely nearly anything to me. And she goes, I'd let it go. And I was like, what? Why? She goes, because I know that everything that you do comes from the heart, and it's always from the heart, and your intention is always pure. Because and it's interesting for me to hear this because I've never heard this in my life, right? And then she goes, so no matter what you do, you always do things from the heart, and therefore, even if it's something that bugs me, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. She meant that from the heart. It wasn't meant the way that somebody else would do it, and because she knows that. So that was really interesting to me. So why does it not bother you if I'm late?
Because I love you to bits, and I also know that you've been this way for your whole life, and every now and again you do try and you make a really great effort at being places on time, but I can see that intention and I can see you trying, and you're like, I'm really going to try, but your mind works at 65,000 miles an hour and you are so feckin' busy, and it's like you're chasing your tail trying to get from one thing to the next, and it's not because you're disorganized, because you have things under control. It's just chaotic control. You get there when you're going to get there, and I'm completely fine. So I sit in a restaurant. If Thelma said she was going to be there at 6 and she wasn't there till 6:30, I wouldn't be bothered. And I'm the same with you for messages and stuff like that.
Drives me nuts.
But that's okay.
Drives me nuts if I'm late.
My other friend is exactly the same. He'll come late now. He's really trying his best to do things. He'll arrive. I think he might have left me waiting in a restaurant once for an hour and a half. I know, yeah. And I was sitting there and I was having my coffee and I was sending him messages and I was saying, where are you? And he was saying he was leaving. And we've had so many mishaps where now we have it down to a fine art. He will message me and he'll say, I'm going to get ready now. Don't leave your house until I'm in Westport.
Yeah.
And I go, no problem, that's fine. So now I can actually sit in my sitting room and have a cup of coffee and relax and do some work. And he'll message me when he's in town and he'll say, I'm here, and I'll go, oh, super, I can get in my car and go in. And he doesn't mind waiting for me. So if I'm another 10 minutes, he doesn't care.
Yeah. Well,
but you're the only two people I take it from.
The thing about it is, a girl said to me one time, she goes, you know, it's so disrespectful that you're late. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. You are right. And then she goes, yeah, because in that moment you think that your time is more precious than mine.
But that's 100%
And I was like,
right.
and I was like this, and I was like, no, it's not that. Honestly, it's not that. It's because of this, that, and the other, and whatever excuse, it doesn't matter. It is that, but you know what it is? I don't intentionally try to be late or have somebody waiting on me. Do you know what it is? And I need to just unlearn this. I always think I have enough time panned out for getting to a certain place. And I always think, do you know what? And like, say for instance now, my child started school, say in the Irish school, and I think, okay, how long does it take? It's only across the road. I'm just giving a silly example. Okay, it takes this long to do it, right? But the first week I wasn't sure. Just it's not exactly this example, but just say this one. Then I realise, okay, it's going to take 5 minutes. So I realise if I leave the house at say 10 to 9, I'll be there for 5 to 9, right? But in my brain, I don't think, what if we can't find the shoes?
Yeah.
What if he's sick? What if some accident happens? What if there's traffic jam? What if there's roadworks? And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I tried to be there. And another friend of mine said to me, Thelma, don't be a dick about it. Just say sorry.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear the excuses. Just say, I'm late. And then work on your lateness or whatever. And I was like, I think that's what it is. I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I've got 10 minutes to spare. I'm going to put on a wash or whatever and da-da-da-da. And then I'm sorting through them and then I'm like, oh shit, the time. And I could have been free for the hour before that. So I need to like not think that I've got more time than what I have. Or if I know it takes 20 minutes to get to Castlebar. Like tomorrow morning now, for instance, right, I have to go to the hospital with Jonah. So I have to be there for 9 o'clock. So I have organised it with my, my kids, I don't really want them online, to go to the hospital. So I know. Stop trying to wait, Goose. No, please, Moses.
No, because Mommy doesn't want you on.
Yeah, because just I want to keep you.
And that's a really good thing because she wants to keep you guys private.
Because I want to respect my kids and have their privacy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I know that I need to give myself maybe half an hour. That I could take 20 minutes to get to Castlebar, but it could take me 20 minutes to get to Castlebar. Yet, by the time I get there, I'm going to have to park the car. I'm going to have to get a ticket for my car. I'm going to have to walk from where the ticket place is to where the actual place that I have to be in the hospital. And all that could take another 10 minutes. Not that I've added it on to my journey. So really, if I was to give myself 40 minutes to leave and then to get there, then I'd be there in time.
Yeah. Will you do that?
Well, actually, yeah, that's good. That's a good question because my father-in-law's coming up at 8:30. He's to be there at 8:30, so hopefully all going well, she'll be there at 9, and if not, I'll give myself longer next time.
And see, she's actually really, really good at being mindful of other people's boundaries. So if I say to Thelma, right, we need to do this at this time, and it's something like a video or a live, whatever, she has come down here often and she's like, I'm really mindful that you have boundaries and I really want to be respectful. And so she'll be here. We might start 5 minutes later, we might start 5 minutes beforehand. But she's in that mind frame of being mindful of other people's space and time. It's just not being mindful of your own space and time because I think your head is so busy. And it's never done out of disrespect. It's never done with intentional malice. It's never done with badness. It's just that your head is busy.
Yeah.
You know, and so when he'll come up tomorrow now at 8:30, you'll be mindful of the fact that he's coming up. Look at this monkey, huh?
I'm so sorry, guys. Moses,
Okay.
we're going to have to finish up here.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I'm so sorry to be rude. This is the joys of wanting to give you guys the best of ourselves and at the same time having kids who are at the young age of not fully realising.
Now put all that back in there because that has to go to the karate club, Jonah. Good boy.
For 2 minutes. You
Good
can
boy.
have the bun in the kitchen. Okay.
We're at 29 minutes
we'll
now
set
anyway,
half
so
past.
we'll finish up.
Yeah, so yeah, that's right. So punctuality, looking at people's eyes, I think tone of voice is so important. You know, I do feel that academics and intelligence, should I say, different intelligences create different levels of respect, and they shouldn't.
Yeah.
So if somebody is very academic, I feel at times people who are very academic can talk down to people who they feel are less superior than them or aren't as intelligent as them, and I think that that is very derogatory. It's very poor on their behalf, and actually we've talked about this before. So how I react is my karma, and what is it again? What I say is my karma, and how you react is your karma.
I'm not responsible for what you say. I'm not responsible. I'm responsible for what I say. I'm not responsible for the way you hear it.
Yeah. So there is like a little bit of that, but I just think that, and that's down to, possibly ego, that the way somebody would speak to you because they think that they're so important or so much more intelligent than you, or somebody who's got like big words and they deliberately know that somebody hasn't got that vocabulary, and they'll turn around and they'll use those bigger words.
Yeah.
I think all that kind of stuff isn't
That's
respectful either.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
How?
And I think, is there anything else to touch on really when it comes to respect?
We'd love to know what your ideas of respect are and what makes you feel good when somebody else does it. Now, the first thing to do is give yourself respect, and when you do that, you're laughing. But it's always nice when you're in company with other people to be able to feel like you've been respected. And do you give respect first, or do you wait for somebody to give it to you? That's futile, by the way, just in case that's what you're doing, because if you're waiting for people to give you respect and you've no intention of giving it to them, they'll feel it, they'll know it, they'll acknowledge it, and it won't actually happen. So you're better off, whoever you are, I don't care how important you are or what your ego is like or who you think you are, give respect first. Just give it away. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and it's not going to make any difference to you. Give it away, and if it comes back, super, and if it doesn't, you haven't lost anything because you've been a good person.
Can I just finish off by one last thing? One thing that I learned lately was, forcing your opinions onto somebody, even if you think that it's the best thing that they could do, that's not respectful. I was in a shop one day, and this girl was buying something, and she found the same thing cheaper, but she was only going to save €1. And in my mind, I couldn't understand why she's only going to save €1, where she'd end up spending that kind of money on something stupid later on. I don't mean, no, that's actually disrespectful. I don't mean something stupid. I mean, like, I know, could be buying like a load of junk food or whatever the case is, right? So I said to her, "Are you kidding me?" Like, because the shop was massive, and where she initially got the stuff was way over there on 2 levels up, and where she got this was in the bargain rate. And I'm like, "Are you actually kidding me?" I said, "You're going to just leave the one that you got upstairs because you're going to save €1 on that." And she's like, "Yeah." And then I was like, and then she was right. She said to me, "I actually cannot believe that you're making me feel ashamed right now. That I feel shameful because I'm somebody who likes to bargain hunt and find deals." And she really, really hit me in the heart saying that. I was like, "Thelma, that's your stuff." Like, I think the thing about ourselves and like doing the work on ourselves is that to be mature enough to be aware and to learn from mistakes or mishaps or things that you know that what's the word? I don't want to say mistakes, but constantly learn about yourself. So I realized in that moment, you know what, Thelma, that's a good learning curve for you, because if she wants to paint the fucking town red, or if she wants to buy all the shop and she's going to put it all on her credit card, then who am I to say anything different? So
that's something I respect in Thelma, though. I think that this is a lovely, lovely trait for you to have.
I get a lot of compliments today.
Yeah, you are. But you deserve them. This has happened twice in the last couple of weeks. We were sitting in the car and Thelma had told me a story and the way she finished the story was really, really lovely. She said that what she did at the end of the situation that had happened was that she thought about it, and she went home and she thought about what she had done as part of it and what she could do different next time so that it wouldn't happen again. She had owned complete responsibility for what went on, and then she had actually learned the lesson. Oh my God, that in itself is massive respect, and you've just done the exact same thing there. You realise that you've done something wrong. You've actually admitted it to the public, which you don't ever have to do, and you've said you've learned something from it. If we all, and you don't have to do anything, none of us have to do anything, but if we all sat back and learned the little tiny lessons from the small moments that happen to us day to day, and really implemented that learning into our lives and didn't do them again, holy Mary, Mother of God, wouldn't it be class?
Yeah.
It'd be so
it's
cool.
not a case, like, okay, to my mind there is like, then it's like perfection. It's not a case of like trying to be perfect, but it's a case of just respecting other people.
Yeah.
And like, I would always try to, like, I think to be respectful, I think one of the major things you have to do, right? One of the really, really major key factors to do is before you speak, and that can be hard, and I do that sometimes because I'm quite impulsive and I get so excited, is try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see how they feel, regardless whether it's something positive you're saying to them or something, please, or something negative that you're saying to them, or something that, you feel they should know.
Now don't, Moses, no.
We're going to come off now, please.
Okay, good boy. You won't get any more cakes or buns.
So yeah, I think that try and put yourself in
That was
somebody
actually
else.
really bad. I shouldn't have.
Try and put yourself in their shoes, and I think in that moment, I know what it is.
He's your son.
in that moment, then when you do that, I think that's where you can learn about yourself and you learn about
100%.
them. I think all your relationships will grow because of that.
Yeah.
Because of doing what you had said about coming back, realizing like what you could have learned from that situation, and making a difference that you try for it not to happen again.
100%.
It might take a while for you to get it, like,
practice.
Unconsciously, but I think if you keep on practicing it daily, it's the fact of being aware of it in the first place.
100%. Yeah.
Helps you move forward. And you know what? In that, they'll respect you for that, and they'll be more mindful of how you are with certain things too. Anyways,
These two are monkeys.
Yeah, they're going to rip the place apart. Anyway, guys, yes, let us know. Ciara Heenahan coaching.
Yes, boss.
Thelma Gibbons, that's life.
It is. That's life.
We're also on YouTube.
YouTube.
And
YouTube. Yeah. That's what it's really called.
Yeah, so
I got a phone.
we're going to do other videos, but I'll hopefully have these two gorgeous boys in bed
We'll do more, and you will see us soon.
on their next video.
Yes.
The joys of working moms. Okay, guys.
Live, not live.
For life. Okay,
Alright, guys.
So
Mwah.
watch while we just do our free smile. So it looks nice. Cheese.